everyone, so I wanted to tell you a story about what I did the day before yesterday. It was really good and I had a lot of fun, and I would possibly call it the most fulfilling day I've had in weeks, which is kind of depressing. But basically I got up really early for me, because normally I get up about midday because, you know, self-employed, I can do what I want. First thing I did was I got up and I went to the gym, which was fun. But the thing is, I actually was doing my new workout routine because I go to the gym for my physiotherapy, and obviously you can only start with like a really low exercise intensity and duration stuff, and then you build up. So I've been going for like 4 months now, so the PT was like, you know, it's time we probably amp it up a bit so you can actually still work out. You're not just sort of plodding along doing your walk and all that. So this new routine involved cardiovascular work, it involved doing some resistance training, which is stuff I'd done before, and then the bit that was a lot harder was I had to do a lot more abdominal work because I was like, come on dude, nothing's happening down here. So he said, yeah, let's do some more abdominal training, and you have to have a personal training session to make sure that you're doing it all properly. I'd had that session about 4 days prior. The thing is, I normally go to the gym every other day, but you can't really do that when the personal training session leaves your legs unable to function because they cramp and you make a step and it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. So I've been off for like 4 days. And I went back and I just did the routine and it killed me. I did it for like 2 hours, even though I asked for my routine to be like an hour long because I don't want to be spending all day doing that. But it was really fun. And the thing is, I was shattered. I was dead. And I just had one more lot of exercises to do, which involved me going onto an exercise mat with some of the weights. The thing is, we only have one of those. And just as I got there, I saw a couple sit down on the mats and I was like, all right, guess I'll go on the rowing machine, sort of wait it out so I can look at them and just wait till they're done. It took them 20 minutes of not doing anything before they left. I was so annoyed because I'd been there for so long and I was panting and I'd run out of water and I'd refilled my water twice and I was like, I've only got one more thing to do, so I'm not going to go and refill my water bottle just for one more thing. To be honest, I wouldn't have cared. If you're using the facilities, then that's your prerogative as a member or a person who's paid. But these guys were closer to doing each other than they were to doing exercises. I was staring them down the whole time, raging out. Now, you could ask, why didn't you go and get someone? Because it's just my luck that they would have probably left the second I went and got someone. And even if I did and they had left, then someone else probably would have got there before me, so I need to be ready to pounce. Now, that's not the only thing I did that day. I decided, since it's really early and I've not wasted my day like normal, I'm going to go and watch a film, because there are loads of films out right now that I really wanted to watch. I didn't have anyone who I particularly wanted to go with who I knew was around, because obviously all my friends moved away when they went to uni, and I know it's the summer holidays and that, but you don't know who's staying, who's going, whose family have moved anyway, so it's sort of like a lottery game if you go and invite people, and I didn't want the hassle of having to meet up with someone and then waiting around for them and then being like, nah, I'm just not gonna come, because that kind of happened last time, but she was having a mental breakdown over something, so I'm not shocked. I went home, dried my hair, because I still haven't invested in like a mini hairdryer for my gym bag, and I'm not paying 20p for like enough to make my fringe sodden to damp after my shower. Picked up my glasses because I'm blind as hell, and I went and had a little nostalgia trip going around Middlebrook, which is like a retail park near my high school. It was weird because there's like an 8% chance of running into someone who I know from high school, which can be good, it can be bad. The thing is, I don't really react well when I run into someone who I know from like the past and I consider that life to not exist anymore, because my brain automatically tries to revert to when I last saw them or what we were last talking about. And the thing is, even if I somehow achieve that, there's no chance they want to talk about that, because it's like 2-3 years history. Super dramatic. One time I saw a guy I knew from primary school and I hadn't seen him since, and he was kind of annoying in primary school, but we were also like friends, you know how kids are. So my brain just sort of short-circuited. I'm not going to say his real name, but let's say his name was Sam. I didn't know any Sams in primary. I knew some Sams in high school, but this guy was from primary school, and I saw him and I was like, Sam! Which was the most awkward thing in the world, because I didn't just see him on my own. I was with my boyfriend, who was like hanging out with me in Bolton at that time, and the guy went up to my boyfriend, we were in a pub, and he was like, hey, is that Georgia Debney? Are you with Georgia Debney? And he was like, yeah. And then he went, oh, okay, cool. And the pub was silent, and my boyfriend came over and told me, and I was like, oh my god, Sam was so annoying in primary school, and he definitely heard it. And then when I talked to him and I was like, Sam, it was so yeah, it was kind of relaxing that didn't happen when I was just going out to have a me day. Now, one of the films I wanted to watch, it wasn't on until like 3 hours after I turned up in Middlebrook, so I spent an hour getting food and just sort of hanging out and leeching off their free Wi-Fi. And then I just sort of hung out for a couple hours watching I Shouldn't Be Alive on my phone while just sitting on some benches, which was really fun. That's a really good show, you know. I've learned some like proper survival tips. One of the things that you learn is if you get lost, don't move. Unless you're actually going to actively die from being stood where you are, don't move, because the search area just gets wider and wider and wider and wider. That's never good. Just sat down, chilled, watched some stuff, picked up some snacks from the shops, because obviously cinema snacks are expensive, but I still ended up buying popcorn anyway because I love popcorn and it's delicious and you gotta have it fresh or else what's the point. The film I wanted to watch finally came after like 2 hours of waiting and realising my phone was only on like 20%, so I thought I'd better turn it off. But the thing is, I was so excited to go watch my film. Saw The Festival, by the way, really good. It's basically The Inbetweeners without trying to be The Inbetweeners, but it also had half the cast of The Inbetweeners, but some really minor characters like that dude from the film who's like always high. He was always high in this as well. Very funny, but I think I might be getting typecast. I was so excited for this film that I just bought my ticket and I got my popcorn because obviously I'm gonna buy it. And I just walked straight into the screen. The thing is, I didn't realise how early I was for my film. It was like 40 minutes too early, which essentially means the previous film is still playing. I didn't even know what film was playing. I just knew that it had Simon Pegg in it, who was awesome, and he was having a big dramatic moment, so obviously it's more disruptive for me to leave in the middle of this big dramatic moment. I was like, go Simon Pegg, you don't get typecast. So I just sort of panicked and I went to the first seat I could see, because by the time I'd realised there were other people in this screen, I was already way too far up, and I'm pretty sure everyone who realised I was going realised I was there too soon. It was more disruptive to leave at that point. So I went up and I sat in the first seat I could find, but the thing is, I didn't realise that this view I'd gone to in Middlebrook has been revamped since I last went there, because in Bolton, nearer to where I live, we got this new place called The Light, and that's where I go for the cinema now because it's easier. But I was having a nostalgia trip, so I went to View, but they'd redone all the seats, and I sort of sat down and I realised it was a very hard surface, and I was like, oh no, I've sat on a table, I'm an idiot, someone just let me sit on a table, I'll just shuffle to the right and there's the seat. Shuffle to the right, there is no seat, there is another table. These guys have put in little slidey, shifty table things on armrests, and I'm just sort of panicking. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. Everyone on my row realised what had just happened and that I was an idiot, and I just sat there quietly, very uptight, didn't really want to relax into the chair because I was like, I don't belong, I don't belong, I don't belong. Thought I was going to get in trouble for like sneaking another film, even though I had no idea what was going on. Didn't even realise what film I was watching until the title credits ran, and I forgot what it is now. I'm pretty sure it was like Born Legacy or something, I don't even know. The film ended, I just sort of shuffled out with everyone, sort of sat near the door with my popcorn, try not to look ridiculous, wait for the cleaning crew to come and go, realised I wasn't in trouble. I made sure I had my ticket and everything, just like, look, I bought it before the film even started, I didn't do anything at me. And then I went in, and by sheer coincidence or psychic ability, the seats that I had actually panic sat in was my seats, which was great. Thing is, I was sat on my own then, just sort of chilling, staring, really comfy chair, like even comfier than this chair, which is insane. But there are people around me using these like footrest mechanic things. I could hear the whirring, I could see people leaning back, and I didn't know how to do this because I didn't see any bottom when I went in there, because obviously I was like panic sitting, so I didn't take a chance to really observe my environment, which probably would have helped avoid the whole situation. And I was sort of tempted to ask the girl next to me how she did it, but by the time she'd finished explaining it to her friend, I couldn't hear a thing because, you know, they've got the big like intense sound system that they have an old advert to demonstrate. So I just sort of sat there with my own comfy little chair, but it was comfy, it's just I wanted to lie down, which would have been cool. It took me ages to like loosen up and not panic and think I was going to get in trouble by the cinema police, which is basically just uni students who don't get paid enough to care who sees extra films, I don't think. One of the adverts that I saw was for Bolton Uni, and the thing is, if you know anything about Bolton University, it is like at the bottom of the league tables. Like the fact it even makes it onto the league tables is like amazing. And the whole advert was like showing big dramatic shots of people doing stuff like working on cars and doing makeup, because those like their main things, I'm pretty sure. And then they put something across the screen, it was like #1, and my first thought was, on what list? Like, this is probably a really localized joke, but honestly, Bolton Uni is not fantastic. My brother got his results literally today, and he works with a girl who, her A-levels, she got like 2 U's and then an E or something, which is like 2 fails and then you scraped it. And I just said to my mum before she even finished explaining, okay, it's really good she's already got a job then, which is probably like really snarky of me, but honestly it was just shocking because my mum said, yeah, you didn't even let me finish though, she still got in on her course at Bolton Uni. And I'm like, wow. If you want a degree, degrees are cool, but honestly I don't think one from Bolton University is going to give you much accolade. So I was like, people probably think I'm a massive hypocrite because I didn't even go to university, but the thing is I don't even want to go. I wanted to go to like one film school which takes in 12 people a year, and I didn't get in, which I don't think is a thing to even be upset about because I'm not one of the people they consider one of the best 12 people. At my interview they didn't ask me any previous experience I had in making videos or anything, or making films, because it was film production, and they asked me about the career history of some Polish cinematographer I had never heard of, so I don't think it was a right fit. But yeah, I didn't walk home in the dark. I would have happily walked home in the dark listening to music because I actually think that's really soothing. I don't care about people who's like, oh, you're gonna get attacked. If you don't look like a victim, you tend not to become a victim. And people say that's a bit of a weird theory to have, but it's worked for me, it's worked for friends who have told me that that mindset helps them somehow walk stronger. I don't know. But yeah, I listened to music, walked to the bus stop, would have walked home, but my phone was on like 5%, so it wouldn't last long enough, and a 45-minute walk home is a lot more boring when you have to sort of sing to yourself to have something to do, which I've done before and it wasn't fun, and I fell over and I scraped my knee and I ruined those tights. It doesn't matter. Went home, had a sleep, very good day. Bye!